Yeah, no.
This is the podium, and the blank oath is right here.
Okay.
And then you can just go across, and all the oaths are in order. When they come up, they'll come up and receive the badge.
So, okay, and so what do I do at that point?
So you're going to come up here, you're going to administer the oath from this point, say what you would like to say, address the recruits.
Right.
And then you'll just go across and take your seat at that table there.
I'll take the
And
seat,
as they
and then
call them
as
up
they
and give
call
them
them and do
badges?
the badges, they come to me,
And then
they're going to sign.
Yes, they'll sign right.
And I take it there's a form there for each one of them?
Yes, there's a
No, it's not. So do I re-administer the oath then individually with each of them?
No, they've done it.
That's okay.
They've done it en masse here, and then they're just signing there.
Okay.
And I will be right in beside you here. I'm just handing out the badges or the wallets as they take them and send them over, so everything should be in the same order.
Yes,
The name on them, so it should be.
yeah, everything is in order. It's in all there, which 3 days.
All right.
Okay.
And then once they're all finished, do I just stay there?
And no, the MC inspector
So
will
what
tell
did
you
you
you can take your seat.
Okay. All right.
Come here.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to badge ceremony of the Waterloo Regional Police Recruit Class 100. I'm Inspector Mark Kroll, Waterloo Regional Police Service Executive Officer, and I have the privilege of serving as your MC today. We're very pleased to be hosting today's ceremony here at the Waterloo Memorial Recreation Complex, which was chosen to signify our special relationship with the City of Waterloo and our ongoing desire to immerse ourselves with the fabric of the many vibrant communities across our region. Today is a very special day for 19 new members of our service. In front of you, their family and friends, they will receive their police badge and begin their career as police officers. So welcome and thank you for being a part of today's very special moment in an officer's career. This ceremony marks the completion of approximately 4 months of recruit training provided by instructors with both the Waterloo Regional Police Service Training Branch and at the Ontario Police College in Elmer. Upon completion of the oath of office here today, our new members will embark on an exciting and rewarding career. They will serve a vibrant and dynamic community and be part of an organization that values people, performance, progress, and principled planning, in addition to accountability, continuous improvement, integrity, and respect. Here now is Class 100 marching on parade. Ladies and gentlemen, senior officers and dignitaries, followed by the Chief of Police, will now be escorted in to the respective places by Sergeant Amy Moore of our Human Resources Branch. We will begin preparations to march on the colors of the Waterloo Regional Police Service. Drill Sergeant Major Jen Preble now has permission of the Chief of Police to march on the colors. We invite everyone to stand or remain standing for the arrival of the color party, followed by the singing of our national anthem. For those in uniform, the Chief will take salute for the colors. Marching on parade honors tradition, presentation, and excellence. Moving as a team, modern military and police services are taught unity and formation. The Honor Guard members volunteer their time for special occasions and events of great significance to help represent the services committed to community, to our pride in our profession, and to the memory of fallen colleagues. We'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather today was traditionally used by the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Neutral people. The land is part of the Haldeman Tract, which includes 6 miles on each side of the Grand River and was promised to the Six Nations. In offering this welcoming to us all, we also recognize their enduring presence and deep traditional knowledge and philosophies of Indigenous people with whom we share this land today. We'd like to offer our thanks and respect as we strive to strengthen our relationship with them. Our ceremony will now get underway with the singing of our national anthem. All uniform members, again, Chief Larkin will take the salute for our anthem. Leading us today is Constable Heather Burgess. Heather currently serves out of Central Division in Kitchener. Thank you, and please be seated. Thank you, Constable Burgess, for your wonderful contribution to today's ceremony. Drill Sergeant Major Jen Pree will now invite Chief Larkin to perform an inspection of our new members. The inspection party will also include Police Services Board Representative Mr. Carl Kiefer, Mayor David Jaworski, and Ms. Fazia Mazar. The duties of the Drill Sergeant Major are to instruct new recruits in drill commands, lead members through parades and processions, and maintain a professional image of the service at events. Class 100 has worked very hard to perfect their formations to ensure they are prepared for today's ceremony and that they pass their first inspection by the Chief. At this time, I'd like to introduce dignitaries in the executive leadership team. From the Ontario Court of Justice, Justice Wayne Rabley. If you could just stand briefly to be recognized. Thank you. From the City of Waterloo, Maya Jaworski. From the Police Services Board, Mr. Carl Kiefer and Ms. Rosita C. Executive Director of the Coalition of Muslim Women of KW, Ms. Fazia Mazar. From the Waterloo Regional Police Service, Kevin Chalk, Deputy Chief of Neighborhood Policing and Investigations. Kevin Thaler, Deputy Chief of Administration and Member Services. I'd also like to ask the Waterloo Regional Police Service Senior Leadership Team to please briefly stand to be acknowledged. I'd also like to recognize Mark Eagers, President of the Waterloo Regional Police Association, and Tim Reparon, Vice President of the Waterloo Regional Police Association. And finally, our Chief of Police, Brian M. Larkin. Thank you very much. Also in this audience, to my left, you'll see we have some very special guests who are looking on with much excitement as they will receive their badges in the near future. The very newest recruits have just been hired and they will be attending OPC as Recruit Class 101. We look forward to seeing you back in several months at your own swearing-in ceremony, and we hope that today gives you some motivation through the months ahead of training. So Class 101, if you could please stand to be recognized. Rupam Bali, Esteban Barota, Kyle Collins, Cameron Dorland, Will Finch, Zachary Gallo, Sean Grift, Preston Huggins, Oliver Kadur, Matthew Kennedy, Joshua McAndrew, Jamie Mitchell, Nicole Morrison, Kyle Orlando, Jed Sajo, Adam Smith, Martin Steenbergen, Brandon Stoker, and Kevin Wolf. Congratulations for your recruit hiring, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you. So all uniform members, you can now comfortably remove your headdress. And I'd like to now call upon His Honor Justice Wayne Rabley, representing the Ontario Court of Justice, to come forward for the swearing-in of our new members and to address the recruits. We welcome him to administer the oath of office. Justice Wayne Rabley.
Now, class, I appreciate that you are a very disciplined group. And so when I say something like, for example, say your name, you got to say your actual name. Don't just repeat whatever I say, okay? So we get it right. So I'm going to go through it. It's kind of like when you get married. When you do get married, eventually, I'll do it in parts and we'll repeat it together, okay? So, I, and then you say your name. Solemnly swear or affirm that I will be loyal to Canada, that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada, and that I will, to the best of my ability, preserve the peace, prevent offenses, and discharge my other duties as a police officer faithfully, impartially, and according to law. So help me God. Now, I just wanted to share with you a couple of comments while I have the opportunity to do so. First of all, I want to say congratulations for coming this far. You are about to receive your badges, and that is a big day in your life, but it's also a big day in our community's life. I grew up in this area, and I think I can speak on behalf of the citizens that we're very proud of our police force. The Waterloo Regional Police Services has been reputed to be, quite frankly, one of the best. And having been a defense lawyer for 25 years, a judge now for 10 years, I can tell you that that reputation is well-deserved and well-earned. You have big boots to fill. Secondly, I would say this, on behalf of the community, you're there to serve and protect. And from time to time, your responsibilities will require you to come to see my colleagues and myself in the Ontario Court of Justice and in the Superior Court of Justice. And I just wanted to say a couple of things to you. Number one, some are intimidated by the process. Going to court is a big part of what you are going to do. It doesn't have to be a difficult part of your life. And indeed, having been a coach for many years, I always took the position saying to my athletes, if you're not nervous, then you don't deserve to be there. I'd also say that if you apply a couple of principles, that experience will go very well for you. Number one, and you've probably heard this once or twice before, read your notes. Notes are really, really important for police officers. And in this day and age, counsel from time to time will even suggest that if it's not in your notes, it didn't happen. You never want to be caught. So take the time to do your notes, make them accurate, do the best you can, and things will work out well for you. Secondly, just share with you a small story on a principle I call the HID principle. The three things that I look for in a police officer in a courtroom: honesty, integrity, and discretion. And to highlight that, I'll just tell you a small story. When I was a young counsel, I had then a young police officer come and approach me one day and say, look, Mr. Rabley, I just want you to know, I think this is an important part of evidence. It's not in my notes. You have to understand that on that particular day, I was doing overtime. I had another commitment. I made my notes. I wasn't sure it was that important at the time, that particular piece of evidence. And since then, I've realized that I made a mistake. You have to understand, back in that day and age, police officers didn't have to give their notes the way you do now. In fact, they didn't even have to share their notes until they were in the witness box. And yet, this young police officer took it upon himself not only to disclose it to me, but to come and tell me right up front what the evidence was and to expose himself potentially. As it turned out, in that particular case, that piece of evidence didn't really become that important. And as a lawyer, I had the option of perhaps asking embarrassing questions, and I chose not to. I used some discretion in that particular case. The case ended. After that, my level of respect for that officer was second to none. And indeed, he and I became pretty good friends as time would go on. So I've gone on and I've become a judge. He's gone on, he's done well in his life. I won't tell you who it is until he ultimately retires, because one of the things that I think is important is that we keep our secrets safe when we can. But it's a good experience. It's a good, I think, illustration of those three principles: honesty, integrity, and discretion. If you exercise those in your police work, you will be very successful, and you will uphold the great reputation that this police force has. So, congratulations again. We really look forward to having you come to our courtrooms. We welcome you to our courtrooms, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Justice Rabley. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, in a moment we'll begin the badge presentations. Feel free to take pictures and video of the ceremony. We will invite you forward later on to take closer photos of the parade. I would at this time like to request Chief Larkin, along with Police Services Board member Carl Kiefer, come forward to the front to prepare for the badging ceremony. Each new constable will take his or her turn individually to approach Chief Larkin and Mr. Kiefer to receive their police badge. I'll be calling out your names by ascending badge number. Please come forward when your name is called. I would now like to call upon retired Waterloo Regional Police Inspector Greg Lamport to come forward to present a badge to his son. Inspector Lamport was with our service for 30 years prior to his retirement in 2018. Rob Lamport, badge 1531. Sir. Rob was born and raised in Waterloo. He attended Wilfrid Laurier University and completed an honors degree in sociology. Rob developed a passion for policing at a young age and always wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. In October 2015, Rob became a special constable with WRPS. He has volunteered with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Waterloo Region, and he is proud father of his son, Bodie. Rob would like to thank his wife, Carolyn, parents, Greg and Karen, sister Erin, and his co-workers and relatives. He is extremely grateful for their encouragement and support as he pursued his new career. Constable Robert Lamport. I would now like to invite Constable James Wilson, who currently serves with the Ottawa Police Service, to come forward to present the badge to his brother. Matthew Wilson, badge 1532. Sir. Matthew is a devoted partner to Sarah and a proud father to a young daughter, Araya. Matthew's family is accustomed to community service roles. His father, a retired OPP police officer, his older sister in the Canadian Armed Forces, and his younger brother, a constable with Ottawa Police. Matthew has been an engaged community volunteer for many years. He graduated from Algonquin College Police Foundations program and has 8 years' experience working in various community service roles. In April 2018, Matthew became a special constable with WRPS. This experience solidified his aspiration to become a police officer and serve others. Matthew is thankful for all his family and friends for their ongoing support throughout this journey. Constable Matthew Wilson. Haley Allen, badge 1533. Sir. Born and raised in Kincardine, Haley also grew up in an emergency service-focused household. Although many family members are firefighters, she correctly developed a passion for policing. Haley has 3 siblings, Hayden, Hogan, and Heidi, 2 dogs, Daisy and Danny, and a cat, Gilligan. She enjoys hockey, outdoor activities, and she has been a devoted community volunteer for many years. She completed the Conestoga College Police Foundations program with President's Honors and later graduated from the Advanced Police Studies program with high distinction. Haley worked as a youth care worker at the Ray of Hope Youth Maximum Security Facility and for the Grand River Conservation Authority. Haley thanks family and friends for their ongoing love, support, and encouragement in helping her achieve her career goal. Constable Haley Allen. Michael Batista, badge 1534. Michael was born and raised in Hamilton. He attended Mohawk College of Applied Arts and Technology, graduating with a degree in Police Foundations and another in Advanced Police Studies. Michael previously worked as a correctional officer at the Hamilton Wentworth Detention Center and was a dedicated member of the Hamilton Police Auxiliary Unit. Michael was also a construction worker where he learned the trades of carpentry and bricklaying. In addition, he enjoys a wide variety of sports, singing, and he absolutely loves to cook. Michael would like to thank his wife, Sabrina, and his family and friends for their overwhelming support and encouragement as he begins his career as a police officer. Constable Michael Batista. Jason Chanthavong, badge 1535. Jason was raised by his grandmother in Kitchener. He moved to Leamington, where he met his fiancée, Michelle. Jason went to St. Clair College, where he worked in security and volunteered for victim services. He worked as a correctional officer and gained valuable experience before applying to be a constable with WRPS. Jason enjoys hiking, camping, and spending time with his dogs, Millie and Max. He would like to give a special thanks to his fiancée, Michelle, for always believing in him and supporting his dreams. He'd also like to thank his family and friends for supporting him on this special day. Constable Jason Chanthavong. Ryan Gent, badge 1536. Ryan was born and raised in Fergus, Ontario. At 16, he joined the Army Reserves in Guelph, where he still serves as a sergeant with the 11th Field Artillery Regiment. Ryan graduated from the Recreation and Leisure Services program at Conestoga College. There, he developed a passion for working with youth at the Tim Horton Children's Foundation camps. Over the past 8 years, Ryan has worked for a variety of youth organizations in different provinces, but he's continued to turn to the Tim Hortons camps. As a police officer, he'll be empowered to support the community while promoting safety and inclusion. Ryan is extremely thankful to all his family and friends who have supported him throughout this journey, especially his parents, Linda and Mike. Constable Ryan Gent. I would now like to invite Constable Tyler Pallister to come forward. Constable Pallister is a 10-year veteran of the OPP stationed in Nottawasaga, and today he will assist in the badge presentation to his niece. Shade Giroux Pallister, badge 1537. Sir. Inspired by her uncle's example, Shade's passion for policing started very early in life. She has worked for the Grand River Conservation Authority, and she graduated from Conestoga College with a distinction from the Police Foundation's and Advanced Police Studies program. She was awarded the Jennifer Kovac Memorial Award for her leadership and community involvement. At 18, Shade became one of WRPS's youngest auxiliary constables. She serves as a peer support team member and continues to mentor youth with the Cambridge Outreach Program. She would like to thank her parents, sisters, friends, and family for their unwavering support in pursuing her career as a police officer. She would also like to thank her uncle, Constable Tyler Pallister. It is with his guidance, encouragement, and support that she embarks on this journey. Constable Shade Giroux Pallister. I'd now like to invite Constable Christopher Hunter to come forward. Constable Hunter is a 13-year officer with WRPS currently working at North Division. Today he will assist in the presentation of the badge to his son. Jacob Hunter, badge 1538. Sir. Jacob was raised in Waterloo and has always had a desire to help others. In 2008, he began volunteering with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. He has remained a committed volunteer for that organization and others in our community. Jacob graduated from the Conestoga College Police Foundation's program with distinction, and he was named valedictorian. He has also completed the Advanced Police Studies program, where he graduated with high distinction. These educational and community experiences helped to solidify his desire to become a police officer. Jacob would like to thank his family for always motivating him, and to thank his girlfriend Kennedy for her endless support. Without them all, he would not be here today. Constable Jacob Hunter. Jordan Keener, badge 1539. Sir. Jordan was born in New York City while his parents were employed there. He now resides in Delaware, Ontario with his wife, his daughter Harper, and another baby is on the way. Jordan has volunteered in several orphanages in Haiti, providing food and clothing to children in need, and he also volunteers regularly at his church in London. Jordan's path to policing began when he graduated from the Police Foundation's program from Westervelt College in London. Prior to being hired, he worked in the construction field. He enjoys annual fishing trips and spending time with his daughter. Jordan would like to thank his wife for being supportive and patient with his new career path, and he looks forward to all the exciting adventures ahead. Constable Jordan Keener. I would now like to invite Constable Roy Allen to come forward. Constable Allen has served with the London Police Service for 21 years. Today he will assist with the badge presentation to his nephew. Corey Keller, badge 1540. Corey was born in London, Ontario, where he has lived his entire life. He graduated with honors from the Police Foundation's program at Fanshawe College. He then attended Western University, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in criminology. Corey has been a dedicated volunteer with the YMCA for several years. He is focused on pursuing a career in policing from a very young age. Corey would like to thank his parents, girlfriend, and dog Loki for all their endless support. He could not have done it without them. Constable Corey Keller. Andrew Kilcar, badge 1541. Andrew was born and raised in St. Catharines, Ontario. After studying at the University of Guelph, he also completed a firefighter program in Texas. Andrew developed a passion for policing through his positive interactions with members of the Niagara Regional Police Service. He's been a devoted community volunteer in the Niagara community with a special needs hockey program, as head coach of a AAA minor hockey team, as an assistant coach with the St. Catharines Junior B Falcons. He looks forward to bringing his passion for sports and community service to Waterloo Region. Andrew wishes his mom was here to see him to fulfill his dream. However, he has amazing support from his wife Kimber, his dad, his brother Cameron, and the entire family. He thanks you all for motivating him to pursue his passion and achieving his career goal. Constable Andrew Kilker. David Klomps, badge 1542. David grew up in Surrey, British Columbia, and has been interested in a career as a police officer from a very young age. He moved to Hamilton for university, where he pursued his passion for volleyball and received a Bachelor of Arts degree in physical education and psychology. After graduating, David worked as a carpenter for 5 years before applying to WRPS. David has volunteered with the John Howard Society for the past 5 years, where he has worked with youth and learned about restorative practices. He's been an assistant coach at Redeemer University for the past 5 years. David has many friends and family to thank for their endless support. He'd like to specifically recognize his parents, who have made countless sacrifices for him and are here today from British Columbia. He'd also like to thank his wife Julie for her loving support. David and Julie have one daughter and are excited for the arrival of another baby in January. Constable David Klomps. David Linjaki, badge 1543. David was born in Serbia and immigrated to Canada. He currently resides in Kitchener with his wife Kim and son Loan. David graduated from Conestoga College in the Law and Security program. He's very passionate about basketball. He helped to lead his high school team to the Waterloo County Secondary School Athletics Association finals and was selected to play in the United States. He brings this passion and experience to his volunteer role with the Huron Community Association, where he teaches youth basketball and various sports. David would like to thank his friends, family, and his wife Kim and son Loan for their continuous love and support as he has pursued his new career. He'd also like to thank his fellow peers from Class 100 for their tireless support in leading up to today. Constable David Linjaki. Tyler Matthews, badge 1544. Tyler was born and raised in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa, to parents Barbara and Shane. In South Africa, he attended the University of KwaZulu-Natal and received an Honors Bachelor of Commerce degree and worked as a software developer. At university, Tyler met and pursued a long-distance relationship with his now wife, Kelsey. During Tyler's first visit to Canada, his eyes were open to the idea of becoming a police officer. During a positive interaction with a constable in Waterloo, he was inspired by her professionalism and positive demeanor. This encounter set Tyler on the path to becoming a police constable. In 2016, Tyler immigrated to Canada, where he worked as a screening officer at Calgary International Airport, all the while remaining focused on a career in policing. Tyler enjoys rugby, cricket, hiking, travel, and time with his family. Tyler would like to thank his wife Kelsey and his parents and his in-laws for their continued support. Constable Tyler Matthews. Aaron Mickelson, badge 1545. Aaron has an extensive background in the automotive sector, having worked as an auto parts advisor for nearly 7 years. He studied political science at the University of Guelph. In 2017, he received a master's degree in public policy and governance. With other community stakeholders, he helped to create Guelph Wellington's first political campaign school for women interested in local town council. Aaron served as a training instructor for immigrant services, teaching new Canadians the fundamentals of home and automotive repair. Aaron would like to recognize his father, Robert, who taught him the value, responsibility, and pride associated with wearing a uniform and working in a career to help make society a better place for all. His mother, Doreen, has always maintained faith in his ability to achieve his dream. Aaron is eternally grateful for the sacrifices she made to help give him the best opportunities in life. He thanks you for your endless love and support. Constable Aaron Mickelson. Calvin Ostner, badge 1546. Calvin was born and raised in Ayr. He achieved a bachelor's degree in urban planning and a master's degree in public administration, both from the University of Waterloo. He's been volunteering in Waterloo Region for more than 15 years with organizations such as the Ayr Paris Band, the WRPS Ceremonial Band, the House of Friendship, and Family Counseling Center of Cambridge and North Dumfries. Calvin has worked tirelessly through volunteerism and education to realize his career dream. We'd like to thank his fiancée Carrie and his parents Heidi and Derek for their unwavering support in his challenging and sometimes arduous path to becoming a police constable. Constable Calvin Ostner. Jamie Reed, badge 1547. Jamie was born and raised in Waterloo with her mother Kim, father Mike, older brother Ben, and younger sister Katie. She attended the University of Guelph, where she studied sociology and criminal justice and public policy. She then took a 2-year program at Conestoga College for American Sign Language. Jamie has volunteered with Victim Services of Waterloo Region, and for 5 years she has been an assistant coach with the Waterloo Ghost Girls Ref softball team. She also was an assistant coach with the Guelph Ringette Association while attending university. Jamie has played rep softball and ringette throughout her life. She's played ringette for Team Ontario for the past 3 years. Jamie would like to thank all of her family and close friends who have helped to support her through this journey. With all their love and support, this career dream has become a reality. Constable Jamie Reed. I would now like to invite Constable Leanne Schultz to come forward. Constable Schultz has been with WRPS for 1 year, currently serving at South Division. Today she will assist with the badge presentation to her sister. Lindsay Schill, badge 1548. Lindsay was born and raised in Waterloo Region, where she resides with her husband, Justin. She completed a business management degree with honors at Manhattanville College in Purchase, New York. There, Lindsay was a dual National Collegiate Athletic Association athlete, playing on both the hockey and softball teams. She was named academic athlete 3 consecutive years, first team all-conference center fielder, and named as hockey team captain in her senior year. Lindsay has been a long-standing community volunteer. She received a community service scholarship during her college career. She has served as an auxiliary constable with our service, and she looks forward to a new career wearing the WRPS uniform with pride. Lindsay would like to thank her parents, her sister, her husband for all their continuous love and support. Constable Lindsay Schill. Taylor Smith, badge 1549. Taylor grew up in Newmarket, Ontario. He attended Wilfrid Laurier University, where he studied biology and psychology. There he played on the varsity football team and worked as a personal trainer in the athletics department. He also volunteered coaching youth athletes and with various mental health organizations. After graduating, he worked as Laurier's strength and conditioning coach with all varsity teams. Taylor volunteers with the Nutrition for Learning program, and he coaches high school football. Taylor wishes to follow his passion for helping others. His grandfather was a minister and his mother a principal. He looks forward to following in their footsteps and serving his community. Taylor currently resides in Kitchener with his wife Alyssa and their dog Hunter. We'd like to thank his parents for supporting him throughout his life, and to his wife for being his constant motivation. Constable Taylor Smith. So at this time, we've completed all of the badging. At this time, all of our guests on the floor are invited to take photographs of the graduating class on parade. So proud parents, siblings, partners, friends, you can please come forward. This is your opportunity to get a few great photographs. There's always one brave person who comes forward first. Yeah, you go right ahead. Yeah. Yeah, you go right up. You can go right up as close as you want. Whatever you like. Yeah.
You might not like it, but I could go too close.
As I've reminded previous ceremonies, this is likely the best that these people will ever look in their life. So you might want to capture. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The interactive portion of the ceremony is now coming to a close. If you can please return to your seats. And at this time, I'd like to recognize the officers from our service who will continue to provide direction, training, instruction, and support to our newest members. Although not all were able to attend today, we'd like to thank the mid leaders and field development officers for the important contribution each one is making in the lives of the careers of our new officers. Also, special thanks to the members of our Training and Education branch and Human Resources branch for the valuable role in this process. If we could please recognize all the coaches and mid-leaders who will guide our people through their new careers. Thank you. We will now proceed with official remarks and speeches. I'd like to call upon and introduce newly sworn-in Constable Rob Lamport to come to the podium to speak on behalf of Recruit Class 100.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this very important day in our lives. I'm extremely honored to be delivering this speech on behalf of Class 100. I would like to start with a special thank you to a few dignitaries who are in attendance today, our Police Services Board members, Chief Brian Larkin, the senior leadership team, and honored guests. Thank you all, and thank you, Human Resources, for putting your faith in each of us by selecting us to represent this amazing police service. Now to our training branch, where it all began. In the weeks leading up to Ontario Police College, you were our big sisters and brothers, and it was the beginning of a new family we are now part of. The officers offered their wisdom, knowledge, and humor as we began from a slow crawl, particularly off the gym floor mats after holding a 3-minute plank, to setting us up running before even stepping foot into the college. One of the best quotes we heard on our first day with our training officers, which I then noticed on a wall at the college, was check your ego at the door. Let's remember where we came from and recognize we are involved in a people-first industry, both within our family and the community we serve. Thank you to the training branch for keeping us humble and true to what this service represents. To our liaison officers, Sergeant James and Constable Cabral, thank you for your encouragement and patience, especially when dealing with all of our questions. Yes, we've been told there's no such thing as a stupid question, but let's not forget, we've now been trained. We understand that 55% of communication is actually portrayed through body language. So we could read that passive-resistant, sometimes even active-resistant look on your faces before you responded to each of our questions. Thank you for sharing your years of experience and making sure everything we did was with purpose and safety at the forefront. To our families, none of this would have come true today if it weren't for all of you. Some of us climbed hills and some of us climbed mountains to be here today. But through each peak and valley, you were all there as well. You were the support networks we so heavily relied upon to get through that rigorous interview process. I imagine that all of our families went through the same stage, ignoring incoming phone calls with the volume on extra loud, anxiously waiting to hear good news after every interview. It goes to show you, it takes an entire team to achieve a goal, and each of you were a part of this team. We can't thank you enough for the years of support and encouragement. And as we move forward into one of the most challenging chapters of our lives, we ask that each of you continue to be there for us. We will all share in many more ups and downs and successes in the years to come. Finally, to our amazing group of brothers and sisters in Recruit Class 100, we made it. We began this journey as strangers. We finished as friends colleagues, and as a family. We all came from different walks of life, bringing experience and knowledge to every situation. We now share the experience of surviving OPC, from the early mornings of drill practice to the healthy diets of carbs, chicken, and well, more chicken. Now we've been given the basic manual for policing. It is up to each of us to continue with a passion for educating ourselves and bettering others around us by applying what we've been taught. Class, it was an amazing time there. We should all be very proud to have passed through such a historical educational program. As we look forward to the next chapter in our careers, let's reflect on what brought us together. It was a common mindset and passion to police in this region of Waterloo. We were selected by our service to assist a community we all love. We have now stepped into the role as leaders, and with that, we have the power to make a positive difference with every interaction. As we disperse to our respective detachments at North, Central, and South Divisions, we must never forget how reliant we are upon the community to truly succeed at what we do. Yes, we are police officers, but above all, we're human. Let's act as such. Listen more, show respect, build meaningful connections. Let's put the human element into everything we do to reflect the people and communities we are there and have the honor of serving. In conclusion, let's be honest, this isn't a conclusion. This is actually just the beginning. We look forward to working a full career alongside each and every one of you. Class Day is a tremendous achievement. Let us all remain proud, humble, and safe throughout this exciting and rewarding journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Constable Lamport. Now I'd like to invite Ms. Fazi Mazar, Executive Director of the Coalition of Muslim Women of KW, to come forward to say a few words. Fazi is a long-standing friend and community partner with our service, and we're very honored that she joined us here today.
Thank you. Hello. I think it would sound better. Chief Larkin, staff of the Waterloo Regional Police Services, families, distinguished guests, and most importantly, members of the graduating class. Did I hear 110 or am I making it up? Class number 100? 100. Congratulations. It is a privilege to be asked to speak at this badging ceremony. And again, congratulations to you all and congratulations to your families. This is a very special day for you. I became a little bit special as well with my first red carpet experience in my life. That was amazing. I truly admire your passion and dedication to serving our community. You and I know that it is not going to be an easy feat, but I have full trust that you are trained well, you will be supported well, and you will continue to build your strengths to be the best that you can be. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you today about some of the challenges facing our immigrants and refugee communities with a particular focus on the Muslim community. Our region is the 10th most populous census metropolitan area in Canada. It is one of the fastest growing regions in Ontario. Just as the rest of Canada, a significant portion of this population growth is happening through immigration. Visible minorities made up 19% of the total population in 2016 in our region, up from 13.1% in 2006. Our region today is more diverse than ever. And Muslim community is a significant part of this growing diversity with an estimated population of 20 to 25,000 in Waterloo region. A vast majority of us have arrived here through the skill-based immigration system. Smaller numbers have arrived seeking refuge from wars and violence in their parts of the world. One of the unique challenges facing the Muslim community in the region and also across Canada is the rise in hate crimes and hate-based incidents targeting members of the Muslim community. Overall, hate crime against Muslims in Canada saw a 103% increase in 2017, and the increase was highest in Ontario at 207%. It's really important to note that 2/3 of these crimes go unreported, so the numbers don't necessarily paint a complete picture. But the most important thing that these numbers don't tell us is the impact of these crimes, not only those who are victimized directly, but also on the whole communities. These crimes isolate the victims and their communities, erode their sense of belonging, and foster alienation and marginalization of entire communities. And these numbers, although helpful in understanding the problem, do not tell us the stories behind the numbers. So let me share a few that I have personally come to know in the course of our work at the Coalition of Muslim Women of KW. These stories are very real for me. I can see the faces of the people who have faced this, and I run the risk of getting emotional when sharing these stories, so please bear with me. So imagine being a newcomer refugee woman, still struggling with grief over the loss of loved ones, culture shock and PTSD, among other things. Try to learn a new language and culture, but feeling pretty safe, thinking that now you are in Canada and it's a safe country. And then your neighbor decides to unleash the dog every time he sees you outside. You try to tell him in your broken English that you are afraid of dogs while trying to run away, and all you can hear is his laughter. Or you're going to your neighborhood community center, holding the hand of your 5-year-old when you see a car coming towards you in high speed, braking at the last second. The window rolls down and you hear someone yelling. All you could understand is the anger and hate in the voice and the word Muslim. You're afraid for your life and the life of your little one, and just pick up your child and run to the community center as fast as you could. Imagine being a young woman who came to Waterloo region when you were in kindergarten. You're thriving in high school, you love learning to play different musical instruments, and love to ride your bike for leisure. Until that one day, when two young men snatch your hijab and run away laughing, leaving you trembling in shock and fear. Imagine being a newcomer family visiting a local park where an older child continued to harass your child, and when you try to talk to the child, the parent of the child yells racial and religious insults at you and your family, asks you to go back to your country as Canadians do not want you here. Other newcomer families witness the whole thing, and now nobody wants to visit that park. Imagine being standing in line with your wife and children at a local store when the person behind you accuses of not knowing any manners because you were talking in a language other than English, and continues to verbally assault you, stating how you and your likes are ruining Canada. When you try to respond, he becomes angrier and now starts to threaten you with physical violence. Nobody intervenes other than your wife, who is asking you to not to respond and leave the place as soon as possible. And that's what you did, but continued to feel humiliated in the coming days and weeks. Imagine being the only one in your neighborhood whose home and car have been vandalized more than one time. Car's windshield is shattered, stones are thrown into your homes, your window glass has been broken. You wonder if your race and religious identity is making you the target, but you have no way of knowing. So there are stories after stories that we hear regularly from those whom we have come to know through our work, but also from within our close circle of friends and families. What I want you to remember is that victims are shaken. They're questioning their own understanding of the situation. They're doubting themselves, fearing for their and their loved ones' safety, avoiding public spaces, limiting their contact with the society, and isolating themselves. Seldom do they think about reporting it to the authorities. This underreported is caused by general mistrust and fear of authorities due to their previous experiences, lack of knowledge of the system, and language barriers, among many other things. Responding to hate crimes require a multifaceted approach, including protection by the law, prevention through education and partnerships, as well as the effective use of the criminal justice system, as well as the civil, administrative, and civil justice system. But we all have a role to play in making our communities safe. We at the Coalition of Muslim Women of KW work hard to build bridges of understanding. We bring individuals and communities together to learn about each other so that we can build trust and understanding between different communities. But I wish this was enough. We also need strong partnerships with the law enforcement and the criminal and civil justice system if we want a safe Waterloo region where we have zero hate crime or hate incidents. Hate crime and hate incidents cannot be eradicated with a punitive approach. We believe in upstream work of prevention by fostering understanding between communities and using restorative justice approaches downstream as much as possible. Today, it gives me a lot of hope, and every day, that our police services also believe in the principles of crime prevention, public education, and community collaborations. As the newest members of our fine police services, I'm confident that you will continue to build your knowledge and understanding of our community. The issues and the challenges, including the rising hate crime and hate incidents. I'm confident that you will build trust in the communities and with the communities by being aware of the power that you will have in your authority and utilizing it for promoting all that is good for all people, including immigrants and refugees. You can count on me and the Coalition of Muslim Women of KW for standing with you, standing by you, and supporting you fully as we all strive to fulfill our dream of a safe Waterloo region and Canada for everyone. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite Mayor Dave Jaworski from the City of Waterloo to say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations, everyone. And I'm here to tell you why you're going to fall in love with this community. I've heard your backgrounds, whether you be from Serbia or from South Africa, from Surrey, was it Surrey, BC, or I think it was Surrey, BC, to London, Hamilton, St. Catharines, beautiful Kincardine, home of the firefighters, and even Delaware, Ontario. You know, I just had an opportunity to come back from the Association of Municipalities meeting in Ottawa, a chance to meet with many mayors. And it's a great chance to reflect on how I came to go to school here in Waterloo and had a choice of many places to live and chose Waterloo region to have raise my family, get married, and have a great life. I truly believe that Waterloo region is one of the best places to live in. A progressive community, curbing urban sprawl long before it was fashionable, preserving our urban and rural mix. All the Mennonites who live to the north, Perimeter Institute, one of the top theoretical physics institutes in the world, right here just next to us. We have a community that is great, and we are a community that works together to solve all problems. And as Fauzia said and articulated very well, like all communities, we have problems to solve. And that's where you come in, Recruit Class 100. The modern-day police officer is a problem solver, working on all the needs of our community, alongside our firefighters, paramedics, bylaw officers, Canadian mental health associates, and very importantly, the civilian staff of Waterloo Regional Police Service who run recruiting. So, on behalf of the City of Waterloo, I want to congratulate you on this special milestone in your life. Hearing your biographies of all of your activities long before becoming a police officer today is simply astounding. Your work with GRCA, your work with various outreach and volunteerism. And you've reached this moment through a lot of hard work, dedication, and we thank you for serving to protect the people of Waterloo Region. And I'm glad to hear that all of you are following in the footsteps of Chief Brian Larkin and the great service that we have here in volunteerism and being community involved, because that's how we're all going to be successful. So thank you for all that you do, and I must go to a 2 p.m. meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jaworski. Now pleased to welcome to the podium Brian Larkin, our Chief of Police, who will address the new officers and guests. Chief Larkin.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Justice Rabley, Ms. Fazia Mahar, of course, Councillor Kiefer, members of the Police Services Board, senior leadership team, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, as we've been here celebrating Class 100. What an incredible pleasure it is to bring greetings on behalf of Deputy Chief Chalk and Deputy Chief Thaler and our amazing leadership team, as well as on behalf of our Police Services Board. And I also bring regrets from Regional Chair Karen Redmond, who could not be here today. What a very special day. It's a great day to be at the Waterloo Recreational Complex. It appears that Constable Jamie Reed scored some goals here because she has like a cheering fan here. But it's great to be here today as we celebrate our newest recruits in Class 100. Justice Rabley talked about the nobility of policing, and I have very fond memories of Justice Rabley when he was a defense counsel in our community, but also had the privilege to participate and be a part of his swearing in as a member of the Ontario Court of Justice. And Justice Rabley taught me a number of very important lessons about our judicial system and about democracy. And I have fond memories of those times at the old 200 Frederick Street Courthouse, soon to be the new Central Division. And I think that the vision of the Police Services Board in the region, there's a really neat nexus that it used to be our courthouse, and we'll continue to create and keep that judicial and democracy as a police station in that institution in that neighborhood. But I shared many fond memories, and I want to thank you for being here, Justice Rabley, and your continued support as well as guidance. And one of those key learnings was around the justice system and democracy and the importance of the work that we do in our community. We are the keepers of democracy in many different ways, and we can never take that for granted. We have extreme powers. As Rob alluded to in his excellent comments on behalf of Class 100, he did a great reminder. And I think the reminder is that all of you were selected. We're the one profession in society that has the ability to select who becomes and who is bestowed the great honor of being a police officer in the community we serve. And I think that that's an important message and an important lesson that we never ever forget, because the Canadian system has given us tremendous powers. And with that comes great responsibility. And so as you're selected, I think Rob very well and eloquently reminded all of us of the important and how our lives change once we become a servant of the community, because that's what all of us are, as servants of the community. Fazia, I want to take an opportunity on behalf of our organization to thank you and to applaud you for your incredible leadership in our community. As the executive director of the Coalition of Women for Islamic Women and Muslim Women, Fazia has been a force to be reckoned with. She has done incredible work in not only raising awareness and educating, but advocating for continued equity and inclusion and diversity within our communities. But one of the key pieces that Fazia often talks about is working in collaboration. And we owe you an extreme debt of gratitude for your work in raising important pieces around hate crime, as well as a much more diverse society. And as you alluded to, 20% of our beautiful, incredible region has become diverse. It's the 4th largest catchment area for new Canadians in the country. And I think that that speaks to the values and the roots, but we have work to do. So please join me in recognizing Ms. Fazia Mahar. His Worship, Dave Jaworski, had to head to another event, but he's a very proud supporter of our police service and does great work, not only as the Mayor of Waterloo, but also as a regional councillor. But we've been very focused on, you've heard this term, collaboration, very focused on working on a number of challenges in the city of Waterloo as we head into the this weekend. Varsity football starts, and with that comes unsanctioned public gatherings and all those fun things. And although the mayor has left, he deserves significant credit for advocating provincially around those pieces. I want to take an opportunity to simply say thank you to the families and all of you that have come here today. Councillor Kiefer and I get to witness the 6 individuals that participated in the badge ceremony for their loved ones, whether it be their son, their sister or nephew or niece. The reality is the one thing that Councillor Kiefer and I commented on was the emotion. There was some tears of joy, tears of happiness. And I think for the families, all of you should take a moment to recognize all of the great things that you've done here, because your loved ones could not be standing here if it wasn't for your support, for your encouragement, for your continued compassion, and also, supporting them through the journey. For some, the journey's a little bit easier. Some would come home with a letter or an email now in today's world of I wasn't successful, or I got to come back, or the testing or the nerves before the interview process, or right after the interview, phoning and texting and saying, how'd you do? I'm not sure. All of those pieces. And behind this great network, sound familiar for all of you? See lots of heads bobbing. But for all of you, behind this great success that we see before us is a network and a support network. And my ask of all of you is to continue to be that support and network. Policing is a challenging, complex profession. It is one of the most highly scrutinized professions in the world, with significant oversight, significant responsibility, as it ought to have. But with that comes a burden of leadership, a burden of responsibility, which can be very challenging on all of us. And so thank you to the family members for being here today, for supporting your loved ones through the process, and of course for the great journey ahead. Today we talked about this, our speakers talked about all the different pieces. And if we pause for a moment, we have never lived in a country that has been as wealthy as it is today. Canada is the wealthiest that it's ever been. Waterloo Region is the 10th largest community in Canada. It has never seen such economic growth, economic development, real estate change, the shaping of our communities. By all accounts, we're doing extremely well. But when you pause for a moment and recognize some of the significant challenges our communities are facing, addiction, mental health, homelessness, poverty. More than 500 people every night in the region of Waterloo do not have a home to go to. 12 people a day in Canada lose their life to addiction. 10 lose their life and pass away by suicide. These are significant, staggering issues that we're facing. And Class 100, and soon to be Class 101, and the more than 1,200 members of our organization, every single day, every single hour, are in the middle of these complexities. And so the honesty, the integrity, the compassion, and the discretion is all an important part of the work that we do. Not everything we touch needs to appear before Justice Rabley. In fact, the judicial system at times may not be the best route, but diversion or a simple warning or a simple break may be the best possible answer or solution to a complex issue. And so as we head out, we have to recognize that there are significant challenges, but at the same time, I'm reminded this week as our team from the organization, our executive office team, has been supporting our most precious resource, our children, to get back to school with some swagger, with some new stuff, and our backpack challenge. And so we made a simple call last year to try to collect 500 backpacks. This year we've collected close to 1,000 backpacks, $4,500 in gift cards to ensure that not one child in our community goes without. And so despite all these challenges, underneath this, there's a number of wonderful things that are happening in our community. It's always an opportunity as we are celebrating the welcoming of new officers to recognize the Police Services Board. Today we have Councillor Kiefer and Ms. Rosita C. here on behalf of the board. We're grateful for their leadership. We're a well-resourced organization. We're an extremely well-governed organization with tremendous support from our Police Services Board and Regional Council and all municipal councils. And that could not occur without the tremendous support and engagement of our Police Services Board. So thank you for your tremendous leadership. Thank you. The senior leadership team and all of our members, the work that they do every single day are simply fantastic, and they have the heart of our members, and we're very proud of the work they do. And in closing, I just want to take a moment to recognize Class 100, welcome Class 101, and just remind everybody that we often have these conversations that your career is a journey. It's a marathon. And at every important checkpoint, whether you're feeling great or feeling a little worn down or feeling tired, because that will occur over the course of a marathon, is remember all the greatness. Remember today your oath, the reason why you decided to become a police officer. And there will be days where you question faith in society, faith in the organization, or maybe even question your career choice. That's all human, it's all natural, but I'd ask you to just at that moment pause and remember all the excitement. Just over 3 weeks ago on parade at the Ontario Police College, your pride, the sense of excitement. Today, celebrating with your family. In a week or so, when you're finally done some classroom and you get to hit the street with your field training officer and the great work. Never forget that. Never forget what you signed up to do. And so Rob, Matt, Haley, Michael, Jason, Ryan, Shade, Jacob, Jordan, Corey, Andrew, David, Tyler, Aaron, Calvin, Jamie, Lindsay, and Taylor, welcome aboard. Congratulations on your journey to date. We wish you all the success in the future. We wish you the best for a bright, shining career. And most importantly, never ever forget why you joined, and continue to love what you do. All the best. Thank you, Miigwech.
So uniform members, we're nearing the end of today's ceremony. If you could please replace your headdress if you haven't done so. Chief Larkin will now invite preparing for the dismissal of the parade. Drill Sergeant Major Preeb, please prepare the parade to be dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Chief Brian Larkin, the Police Services Board, senior staff, and all police members, thank you for sharing in this very special event with us today. After the parade and colors are dismissed, we invite you to join us for refreshments and to mingle with the officers and new graduates. The Drill Sergeant Major has now requested for permission from the Chief of Police to march off the colors, and then we'll dismiss the parade. Senior members and uniform officers, please stand for the departure of the color party. I mean it. You've got style. He's